yourself tonight. Man, what's up, guys? We got to start off the show with some, a little bit of singing, because that's how we always do it, guys. We always just got to start off the show with a little singing. So I got some serious stuff to talk to you guys about, all right? This is not, hang on. We're doing serious talk. I got to take off the badass glasses. So I want to talk to you guys about something, all right? Something serious. Now, I want you guys to know I love you more than anything, right? You guys showing up every day for me means literally the whole world to me, and I could, just the appreciation I have for you guys. Honestly, I cannot even begin to put into words, right? So I've noticed lately, right? Like when I set out to start this stream, it seemed like such a good idea to do it every day. Monday through Friday, let's get into it. Let's get after it. 2 hours, talk about whatever is going on the internet, right? With that said, though, I've noticed that I've been, really, getting sick more often lately, and I've been, basically just struggling in other aspects of my life. And that's not due to the stream, right? It's just because, I'm putting so much of I'm spreading myself so thin throughout my life. All right. I work 3 jobs, right? Including this one. And, like Keefsey says, pushing yourself too hard. And, so I was considering, and you know what, as much as obviously, aside from the regulars that you guys have, I was hoping that, some of these streams would pick up a little more viewership than they are in the replays. And I know we have a whole replay crew, so shout out to the replay crew. You guys know who you are, who watch the show religiously every day after, because they're working during the live stream, or they're just in a different part of the world and they can't watch it live. With that said, though, I think I need to seriously consider adjusting the schedule of these streams. Not because I don't appreciate you guys, or I know that I enjoy spending time. I'm always so tired coming over and sitting down and setting up the studio and then beginning to talk. You could move to just Fridays. Well, that's what I'm considering. Well, I'm not considering just one day a week. I think that would be too little. I do want to do weekly streams, right? I do. I think that maybe it might be best, because also, the one thing that's suffered too is my traditional content, which is what I set out to do with this channel to begin with. I wanted to be a creator who did stuff like the Savannah video, who did stuff like my recent video where I added all the music and stuff. And frankly, with the stream, I just don't have the time to do those style types of videos and the stream at the same time. So I have to decide at this point. I'm at a crossroads in my life where I have to decide, do I move forward as a full-time streamer, or do I move forward as a traditional commentator, or do I find myself somewhere in the middle? And I think that the best option for myself and, for my child and for everybody else in my life is to probably find somewhere in the middle, right? Because one, I love doing these streams with you guys. It's so much fun. It means, and having you guys hanging out and, checking to see if I'm late, or, just checking in with you guys daily is so badass. And I hope one day to be able to return to daily streaming, right? That is a goal. Unfortunately right now, I'm not big enough to be able to do daily streaming. I don't make enough money on YouTube. I need to, make money doing other things. And, Now, if I get to a point where I can do daily streaming as a thing because YouTube's my main job, I will 110% do that, and you'll never hear me complain about it, right? You'll never hear me complain about it. I'm not Asmongold, right? Streaming's so hard, right? I love this. This shit's so much fun. I look forward to this every single day. And don't need to get yourself burnt out. I appreciate you guys. Suggestion: do a rotation. 1 week do 3 days, and the next 2 days. That's good. The only problem with that is I feel like people would be like, well, is this an off week where he's doing the 3, or is this an off week where he's doing the 2? So what I was thinking was maybe doing 2. We could either do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday streams, and then I won't stream on Tuesday and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays where I'll be able to work on other stuff. If you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything. Amen to that. And it comes down to just like you guys said, like the burnout, right? Like you guys know, because some days you guys can't be here either, and it's just because that's the way life is. And I've been trying to make it a constant. Like I wanted to experiment with this for a month. I think we're a month into this, right? And we're growing. Like, don't get us wrong, we're growing. We got new people joining the stream all the time. I do feel like though that for the growth of the channel, it might be best to pull back on the streaming a little bit and put the traditional content forward. I'll obviously still be in the Discord with you guys. It's not like I'm going anywhere. Like, I'll still be able to talk to you guys regularly every day. But I think that I definitely need to clear out and make more space to be able to do traditional content along with these streams. Because, like I said, like I'm not Moist Critical. I'm not Tiger Tom or Oompaville, these big name creators who've been doing it for so long that this is all they do, and they can do it every day. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Tina. I want your guys' well-being as well. So, I mean, I'm not sure what that looks like yet. I haven't decided on a schedule. So maybe we can throw up like a poll somewhere, and we can either go 2 days a week. Like, ideally, 2 streams a week would be nice. And we can even do it at different times, or we can do it at other times, whatever is more convenient for you guys, because I do want to. There's so many videos that I want to do topics on that I can't. I just don't have the time to work on them, because by the time I get done, like I literally come home from work, right? I try to take a quick cat nap. Like I literally have an hour from when I arrive home to when the stream starts. And I try to squeeze in like a 20-minute nap before I start, because if I don't, like, I won't be able to bring you guys any kind of like energy. I'll just be like beat from working all day. And we're heading into the dog days of the summer. And another thing is too, like, my schedule during the summer is going to change. So I wouldn't even be able to do the 4 to 6 time as it is, because I think we go to what's called a flex scheduling, where I work 4 days a week, but I work for 10 hours a day, and then I get off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is nice. I can either do that, or I can stick to the schedule I have now. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet with that either. There's just so much on my mind, and it's hard. Like, I would love to do this 7 days a week for you guys. People like Chud do it, but this is Chud's full-time job, right? I'm not sure. I'm sure people like Xylee and Chris, maybe they probably have other jobs, but because they're not as huge either. But Chud's pretty big. He's getting there. So these guys can get away with doing these streams every day, and they stream every day because that's their income. That's what they count on, right? I'm sure it's fun for them. They love talking about it, right? But for me, like, just not yet am I able to carry on this schedule. I thought, if I just stick with it and keep it going, it'll start growing, and everybody will start. And we have picked up people. And, we love it when new people come in. We understand, do 2 days. If you feel like doing an extra one every now and then, we'll get notifications letting us know when you are on. Yeah, that's a good point too, Tina. And I can always come to Discord and let you guys know if I'm going to do a setup stream. Personally, I like the idea of everybody knowing when I'm going to stream and what time, because I think that is just, it's a reasonable thing to do as well. So I'm not sure what, like, I couldn't always just roll back the streams to 5 to 6 and then make it an hour long stream too. So and then continue the Monday through Friday stream. But I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do. All I know is that something's got to change because I'm wearing myself out. And on one hand, I love that I don't have enough hours in the day. I think it's good. What's up, Rick? I think it's a good thing to be, working so hard and to be trying to chase your dreams and try to get after the things that you want to do with your life. I think that's a huge, and it's so incredibly important. With that said, the artist in me feels like I can contribute so much more than just streaming. I really do. I want to make part of this channel like the commentary videos with the music involved that I've written from scratch, and I just think that long term it would grow me much faster than just streaming every day and waiting for people to find me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's what I wanted to start off with today, guys. I don't know what we're gonna do from here just yet, but I'm trying to figure out maybe doing Tuesdays and Thursdays would probably be the best bet for me. I think would probably be the best thing, because then Monday, Wednesday, and then I can have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to work on bringing you guys really amazing videos, whether that's me going out into the street and interviewing people, or creating these funny sketches, or documenting things that are happening on the internet in a really funny way with, like, good, better editing, shorter time spans, so that everybody's not signing up to watch a 2-hour long video when I go live, because I feel like a lot of people, like, they click on the video interested to see what we have to say, and then they realize it's just me on a stream and they don't know who I am, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm clicking off of this video. I don't know who this guy is. I don't care what he has to say. But when I have stuff like Savannah and I can come up with an interesting little hook in the beginning and then, like, have like a little zinger or something to go through, I think that that's a little more appealing to the audience masses. And this is something I've talked about with, like, one of my YouTube coaches as well. So I think that, I mean, the subscriber count is still growing, but it's all growing. As much as I wish it was growing because of my amazing streaming abilities, it's growing because of my videos I've done from before. It's growing because of my Savannah video. It's growing because of my Lily Tino video. It's growing because of my Derek Ross video. Those are the videos that are growing this channel. And it's not just, honestly, I don't know if any of my streams have reached over 100 views post you guys, and that doesn't mean that I don't give a crap, and I love you guys to death. Actually, our mayor video, the one that we did where we streamed the mayor, almost had like 4,000 views. So it is possible to make that happen, but I think it just has to depend on the topic. Now, the things I could do with that mayor would be like a rap song or something fun, that I can do to try to keep it, lighthearted and fun. And, frankly, I just don't know if we can achieve that in the current direction with the limited amount of time I have right now. And, I don't have any time to prep these streams, which isn't really fair to you guys either, right? I'm asking you for your time, and I'm coming into half of these streams unprepared, either counting on you guys to have something that you've put in the Discord, or counting on me finding something that I happen to, hear during the day while I'm working, and being like, oh, that would be a great topic for the stream later. I know, yes, I know you know me as a person, Rick. But how early we get up for work too. So, yeah, so it's just wearing me down, guys. And, I'm going to continue streaming. Obviously, I'm not going to stop streaming, but I think that starting next week, we are going to move to a Tuesday and Thursday schedule, only. Now I could extend those Tuesdays and Thursdays to make them like longer streams. That's a possibility as well. Thursday, not so much, because I have to work a second night job on Thursdays. But Tuesdays, yeah, we could definitely have like a 3-hour stream or something, on Tuesday night. and we can talk about a plethora of different things to do. And then that leaves me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night to start working on whatever project I'm doing. Spend some time with the family and the kids and stuff like that. Or I can always start with like a Saturday hour stream or something like that. I think it's possible that we we can find plenty of things to do. But I just feel like right now, I thought that I was going to be able to do these streams every day and also create traditional videos. And I just don't think that that's a feasible thing anymore. I was able to do it once, right? But I had streamed every single day that week, and then I spent all Saturday editing and filming a video, and then that wore me out. And then last weekend I got sick, so I couldn't make I wanted to work on a new video, couldn't happen. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. I hope that you don't mind, and I really apologize because I know some of you guys listen to me every day. You guys listen and you watch every single day, and that means the world to me, right? And I think that it's amazing the support that you guys show me, and I promised myself I wouldn't cry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not crying yet. But yeah, no, I mean, we're going to still stream, right? We're still going to stream. We're still going to kick ass. We're still going to laugh about a lot of stuff, except we're not going to be doing it daily. That's pretty much the only change that's coming, right, guys? We're not going to be doing it daily. So this is going to go into effect starting today. All right, so this is going to be my Tuesday stream. I won't be streaming tomorrow. I will stream Thursday, and then there will be no more stream on Friday. And then so on and so forth. Tuesday stream, Thursday stream. I will change the schedule on all of the things that you guys, on all the advertisements and stuff like that. So if anybody's not familiar with it, just let them know. Be like, hey, guys, just a heads up, EG's. I'll put it on my community board on the YouTube thing. EG's changing up his streams, the stream schedule. Because he doesn't want to die when he's 40. I'd like to live into my elder years, and just absolutely wearing yourself down during the week is not the best way to go about it, because then during the weekend you have no energy and no fire to do anything on the weekend. So with that said, what you guys got for me today? How's it going? I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Thank you, Tina. This was a hard decision. I've been wrestling around with it all day. But I definitely have to do what's best for the channel, and I definitely have to do what's best for my life as well. And I think both of these, when I weigh the pros and cons, I have on one hand, I have you guys who I love seeing, right? You guys are one of the pros of doing this every day, getting to see you guys, getting to chat with you guys, talking about crazy stories. By the time I'm done stream, I'm always had the time of my life, right? I'm never sad at the end of a stream. I'm always excited and energetic. So what are we watching? Don't you worry, Astro. We'll get to it. And then on the other hand, right, we have to worry about the channel. What's best for the channel is to get views, which I'm not getting a whole lot of from streaming, and I know that that's because I'm only been streaming for a little bit, and I know that they would come in time, but I don't want to wait. I want them now, right? And then, of course, the family life. So we got that's going on. Yeah, life is way more important. The internet ain't going nowhere. I know. All right, so I agree. So, again, so this is just a new heads up, right, guys? Tuesdays and Thursdays I will be streaming, same time, 4 to 6, and you still put your topics up in the Discord, and we'll be talking about it, right? And then maybe we can set up something Sunday night, right? Sunday night we could do a stream. We can go back to doing Sunday night streams where I can just hang out with you guys and talk about stuff if you want. But it's important that this is fun, and this is fun. But at the same time, you can't destroy yourself and push the ones you love away because you gotta go live. It just isn't the way that's supposed to go. You're supposed to have fun streaming. I mean, I do have fun streaming. That's not a good way to put it, but you're supposed to not. You're supposed to stream and not die. Yeah. But it's not just streaming that's doing it. It's like everything else around streaming that's doing it. Like if I was only doing this, I would love it. I would never have a problem with it. I would do it Monday. I'd probably do it for 4 or 5 hours a day with you guys. But unfortunately, I have other jobs too that are sometimes very labor intensive. They're early hours. Sometimes they're really late nights. And that's a thing. And then I have another job after that. So anyway. So today, there was a couple things I wanted to take a look at. I saw some things in the Discord that I found interesting. I don't want to switch my microphone, please. YouTube bans memes, huh? That's interesting. But I want to jump into the P Diddy stuff, right? So I know that you guys. Not unaliving is good. Yes, that is for sure. Not unaliving is good. But I do want to jump into the P Diddy stuff because that is crazy. There's a couple different stories that were interesting around me too. Like there was a bridge collapse today in near like my part of the world, and that was in what was that, in Baltimore? So we'll just start off with that. But this is absolutely insane. This ship like straight up dusted this bridge, and there's people absolutely missing. You have a lot on your plate. It's a lot to eat. It is a lot to eat. That's for damn sure. But I wanted to just go into this story here first before we jump into the P Diddy allegations, because I feel like we'll spend a lot longer on the P Diddy allegations than we will on this story. But I just found this story so insane that I wanted to talk about it first. So let me just bring up I gotta put the music on. You know how it goes. But again, guys, if anybody asked you or you see anybody talking about where's EG today and it's a Monday or Wednesday or Friday, just let them know that the schedule has changed. That's all I ask. Wow, it's so loud. Why is it so loud? There we go. That's much better. All right, guys. So this was what's this? This is in Baltimore, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Just look at it. Embrace it for all that it is. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of people out there who are like afraid of driving on bridges, and it's for this reason right here. This reason right here is why they're afraid of driving on bridges. Jeez, how big is this video? Hang on. I'm trying to get this figured out. All right, there we go. That's better. So we're going to take a look at this real quick. Yep, that's me, 100% scared to death. I know, I never really was afraid of driving on bridges, but looking at this here, this scares the crap out of me. Like, being on a bridge when something like this happens, I can't imagine how horrifying it would be to be on that bridge at the time it was going down. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this video right here real fast, because this is just pure insanity, and things like this should not happen today, right? Things like this should not happen in 2024. We know better, right? There should be ways to stop this boat from even getting to this bridge. I almost had a panic attack when I seen this on the news this morning. These poor families. I know, right? Because it's like, say you have a family member who drives this route to work every day. You immediately don't know if they made it to work, if they were on the bridge at the time that this thing came through, right? It's terrifying, and just not knowing what happened. Imagine being one of the people who were about to cross the bridge when it fell, or being one of those people who had just crossed the bridge when it fell. I'm sure you don't look at your life the same way again. Well, hello there, honey. You would never look at yourself the same way again. because you were that close to death. Now imagine being one of the people who were on the bridge, right? How freaking scary is that? They said it lost power twice trying to go in reverse. Wow. Yeah, that's a big ass boat. Like, that is a big boat. But let's find out the story behind. Well, let's see what at least they say to in this video here. This is the moment a cargo ship struck a bridge in Baltimore. Oh, so this happened last night. Oh my God, guys. Look at that. How scary. How freaking scary. Let's watch that again. This is at nighttime, so this had to be like super, super early this morning. How many people are missing? We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that, Keisty. But yeah, just take a look at this again. That bridge just fell like a sack of potatoes.
The preliminary investigation points to an accident. We haven't seen any credible evidence of a terrorist attack.
The Mayday call before the collision gave officials time to stop traffic at both ends of the bridge.
Literally, by being able to stop cars from coming over the bridge, these people are heroes. They saved lives last night.
Okay. Wait, 8 construction workers were believed to be on the bridge when it fell, officials said. Okay, so there was no cars on the bridge. So that's good, right? That's a good thing. That is something that we should be very happy about. Because we don't want to see... I need to make this a little bit smaller. It's like too big on your guys' screen here. But yeah, that is terrifying. So there's 8 construction workers that were on the bridge when it fell. That's terrifying. 2 people were rescued and 6 remain missing as of Tuesday afternoon. Maryland's governor said the bridge was up to code at the time of its collapse. What's up, Income? How's it going, brother? I had a meeting, so I'm 30 minutes behind the stream, catching up on 2M times X speed. Awesome. That's good. However you gotta do it, brother. Dude, that is crazy. That is crazy. Like, just how fast this bridge buckles. That is insane. But I'm so happy that no cars were on it. The dolly lost power shortly before hitting the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The guy who wrote the national anthem. So I just want to see, here's what we know about the collapse so far. Federal investigators say that they are beginning what could be a long search for answers about how a massive cargo ship struck a major bridge minutes after leaving the port of Baltimore early Tuesday. The ship's crew issued a warning that it had lost power, giving officials a brief chance to stop cars and try to evacuate the span before it fell into the river. 6 construction workers had been fixing potholes on the Francis Scott Key Bridge remained missing on Tuesday afternoon as divers and other emergency workers on boats and helicopters searched for them. The National Transportation Safety Board, which is leading the inquiry, said in its investigation, "We're holding back while the search continued." That's not like a small bridge either. That's a tall bridge. Yeah, and for the families of the construction workers too. How sad is that, man? Several large automakers said on Tuesday that they were working to reroute shipments of cars because of the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. The Port of Baltimore plays a very important role in the shipment of vehicles and handled more than 750,000 cars and trucks in 2023, according to the Maryland Port of Emissions. It ranked first in the United States for the volume of automobiles and light trucks it handles, and for vessels that carry wheeled cargo, including farm and construction machinery, according to a statement by Governor Wes Moore of Maryland last month. Dude, like, just this whole situation, like, I mean, I guess the ship losing power is not something that happens very often. So this is where the impact occurred here. You guys can see the direction of the ship was coming this way. That's the Patapsco River. There was and the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Francis Scott Key, of course, was the guy who wrote the national anthem. Maryland's governor declared a state of emergency. Here's what that means. I'm sure you guys can figure out what that means. That means that they shut it down. Only hours after the colossal cargo ship struck a major bridge in Baltimore and caused it to collapse on Tuesday, Maryland's governor and Baltimore mayor each declared a state of emergency. The order unlocks additional powers that can be used to deal with natural disasters or man-made crises, often by creating or suspending laws and by redirecting public funds to the task at hand. Underwater drones have shown an abundance of twisted metal and debris from the collapsed bridge, making it unsafe for drivers to enter. I almost thought it said making it unsafe for drivers to enter the wreckage. I was gonna be like, no shit. It said divers. Can you tell I'm tired, guys? To enter the wreckage. Angela also Brooks, the county executive for Prince George's County in Maryland, said in a social media post, the collapse will upend commercial traffic in a busy industrial area. I mean, look at that bridge though for a second, guys. Like that is like a very, it almost looks like a very weak bridge, doesn't it? I'm sure bridges, this bridge collapsed this morning, Dawn. Eastern Standard Time. It was in Baltimore, so I want to say it was probably about like 4 or 5 in the morning. It probably went down, and because it was still dark out when they showed the video. But like that does not look like a very girthy bridge, if you ask me. I think that's like this bridge is literally hanging by these little rods here, so I'm not shocked to see it topple over so easily. But then again, I'm sure most bridges probably couldn't handle a strike from a boat like that. As the shock of the Key Bridge collapse settled over Baltimore on Tuesday, and new traffic realities came not far behind. The 4-lane bridge, which collapsed after being hit by a container ship, was not the most heavily trafficked route across the Baltimore harbor, but without the crossing, about 34,000 cars and trucks will now have to find alternative routes. That's just an 1:29 a.m. Thank you, Rick. Dude, that is insane. Like, not only now is there people missing, right? They got to clean up this wreckage, but on top of that, now traffic is going to be an absolute nightmare in Baltimore, even more than it probably already was. The collapse severs the southern stretch of Interstate 695, the portion of Baltimore Beltway that runs through the heavily industrial areas around the port. Early Tuesday morning, as I-695 closed around the bridge, the Maryland Transport Authority was advising commuters to take one of 2 tunnels that also span the harbor. Yeah, if your bridges aren't safe, how safe are your tunnels? But again, this probably has nothing to do with the bridge and everything to do with the ship. Wow, look at that photo. This is a photo of the bridge before it got hit, and then a photo of the bridge after it was hit. That is haunting, guys. That is haunting. That must be satellite imagery right there. But I'm really glad to see that they were able to stop it, and it wasn't like rush hour when this boat came through and hit it. But anyway, that's pretty much about all I know about this bridge right now. It could take years to repair the bridge collapse. Yeah, it's going to take them a while to fix this bridge. And I'm assuming that the construction work only 2 of the construction workers were found, and I'm having a feeling that the last 4, if they're not found yet, I don't have high hopes for them. But you never know. Maybe we can have a miracle, guys. I really hope that they somehow manage to find them alive, because I couldn't imagine having a loved one deal with something like that in their life. So this is the P Diddy, P Dizzle. I want to go find a good video about P Diddy. P Diddy, well, this is rated by police. The lead attorney. Where is the agents. I want to find a one that goes over the accounts that Diddy did. And accusations. Now, just a heads up, I'm sure that these are going to be pretty hard to hear. It's amazing how much power you can get and just be an absolute piece of trash. I mean, this is Hollywood, celebrities for you guys. Just obviously not all of them do it, but it's enough for them to raid his house. Let me try and find I know that you sent me a Diddy is in a heap of trouble from the sounds of things lately. Yeah. I'm sure he's never going to be invited to another Oscars or anything like that. Sex, drugs, hidden camera. Diddy faces explosive allegations. That's only 3 minutes long. I want to find one that goes into more detail about what he did. 10 horrifying new allegations against P Diddy. This works.
What's up, yo?
All right, let me turn off my music here before we start. So this is from Long Crime Network. I absolutely love this channel. Diddy has a laundry list of accusations. I know, that's why I wanted to find a video that was gonna list them all. So this is 10 horrifying new allegations against P Diddy. If you're not subscribed to Long Crime, dude, you're missing out. It's such a great channel. It has so many good stories on it. And this is sidebar with I've watched this guy before. He does good work on this channel. Let me get this straightened out so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. But I think it came out that P Diddy was gay too. He's been gay this whole time. I wonder if he was like Biggie Smalls. No, I don't even want to open that rabbit hole. I don't want to open that rabbit hole and be like, this guy's accusing Biggie of being gay. Yeah, I know he was just raided the other night. That's why we're going to talk about it today. I'm familiar with some of the accusations that are surrounding him, but I want to just react to all of them with you guys. So here we go.
What's up, yo? Coming to you live from London. Extremely humble, grateful, and blessed.
We are breaking down all of the recent allegations against Sean P. Diddy Combs as he faces now several lawsuits, including a bombshell one dropped by a former producer accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Yeah, Jesse Weber. Jesse Weber does good stuff.
So if you've been on social media...
Didn't Diddy get accused of shooting another rapper back in the day in the 90s? I think that he was involved in the Tupac thing like Astroworm says, but I don't think that he was the shooter. Actually, they found out who the shooter of Tupac Shakur was later on, and I don't think it had anything to do with Biggie at the end of the day. It happened to do with... It was this guy who had a beef with Tupac. They actually found the Tupac shooter all these years later and arrested him, but he's like 60 now or something like that. But he'll spend the rest of his days in jail. But it happened at Las Vegas. But apparently Tupac and his boys jumped this guy earlier in the night, and then the guy came back and then shot Tupac when he wasn't paying attention or something. And he got away with it for a long time too.
Media recently, or you've been perusing different news sites, you may have seen a lot about P. Diddy and these sexual misconduct allegations. There is a lot there, so we thought let's break it down for you as to what is...
They accused him of setting it up. Yeah, I don't think he was involved or Biggie was involved at all. If you go and look at the stuff that involved around the shooting and stuff, it was someone who Tupac had beef with, and I don't think he was involved with Biggie at all. If I'm remembering the story correctly,
actually,
I quit trusting Diddy years ago when he rolled up to the Grammys in a Pepsi big rig. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is now. Everybody's got to have their moment of prestige or their moment of interest and trying to be super cool and super interesting and out of the box. You got to make a splash or whatever. But Diddy's been around for so long. He's a very, very powerful guy in Hollywood. So whoever the whistleblower was that is taking him down, props to them, because I'm sure they're probably scared for their life right now. Because Diddy, I mean, he's that old. I mean, he's probably too big to be doing that shit now. but he's definitely gonna be. This is gonna destroy him. This is absolutely gonna destroy him. If you're doing stuff like, let me tell you guys again, if you're somebody who's famous or in the public eye, any kind of public figure, and you're out there doing dumb shit, you're going to get caught for it, because that is the society we live in these days. There's no more behind the scenes kind of like, wheeling and dealing. People going to expose your ass because that's what people like to do today. Like that whole snitches get stitches stuff doesn't exist anymore. Like snitches get extra views. Snitches get radio time. Snitches get, limelight. That's where we're at now. I feel like Diddy is one of the last true mobster types. No, I think, who was that other guy that, well, he's actually might be in prison. Suge Knight. Suge Knight was like one of the main ones. Yeah, but he definitely came up in a weird, in a weird way. He wasn't exactly on the up and up. Snitches used to get ditches when it went down to stitches was the downfall. Yeah. Now it's snitches. Snitches get like all like the views and good clickbait. Diddy is fake. Suge is way more of a boss, even though he's a piece of crap too. Yeah, I know. Suge Knight is a piece of shit. Both of these guys suck, to be honest with you. I was never. I did like that song "Missing You" by him when Biggie Small died. Every step you take, boom, 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 I've been missing you. Even though it's literally a Sting ripoff, but it's still a good jam.
Going on. These are going to be the biggest accusations currently against P. Diddy. So P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, real name Sean Combs, is of course a well-known music mogul.
Can I just say that, like, what is it with black people? Like, they age so much better than white folks. Like, he doesn't even look like he's that old.
Founder of Bad Boy Records, an influential producer, the founder of a clothing line, a singer and actor. Now, you might recall that we previously reported on a huge lawsuit filed against Combs by his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura back on November 16, 2023.
Thank you, Kesey. Yeah, smash that like button if you guys get a chance.
At the time, Ventura alleged that Combs physically and sexually abused her, including forcing her into sexual slavery and sex trafficking. And some of the more alarming allegations in that federal lawsuit included Combs allegedly raping Ventura in her home after she tried to leave him, savagely beating her, resulting in bruises and burst lips, forcing her to have sex with prostitutes on video while he watched and masturbated, forced her.
Why would he make, like, I've never understood this. Why would you make people perform for you while you sit there and stroke it? Like, why wouldn't you get involved and enjoy? Like, like, if you have women in front of you. Now, I'm not making this right. Like, if you're forcing these people to do this, obviously it's not okay and it's not ethical. You can't be doing that stuff. But like, I just never understood that whole like standing back and like whacking it to other people doing things. I mean, obviously if you're by yourself, it's different. But if it's there for you, go use it.
To carry a gun for him and tried to chase down music producer Suge Knight with a gun. Even she accused him of blowing up rapper Kid Cudi's car because he found out that Cudi was interested in Ventura. Yeah, it was wild. We covered it here. And she sued him under New York's Adult Survivors Act. That was a law that gave survivors of sexual assault a 1-year window to file lawsuits if their claims were otherwise time barred under the statute of limitations.
Oh, it's a controlling thing, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense then.
Now, Ventura had told CBS at the time, quote, "After years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships." With the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. Now, just one day after filing this lawsuit in New York federal court, Combs and Ventura agreed to a settlement. Now, as with most settlements, it was confidential. We do not know the terms.
NDA.
Ventura released.
We know about NDAs,
saying,
guys,
quote,
didn't we? When we did the Vince McMahon stuff, puppet master the puppets, do thy will.
Of this matter
Yep.
amicably on
Makes
terms
sense.
that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support. Combs released his own statement saying, quote, "We have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love."
You got to read it like Diddy. We decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family the best love. Thank you. Long live Biggie.
Now, Ben Brafman, who is an attorney for Sean Combs, released a statement saying, quote, just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing.
Yes, it is. I mean, it kind of is. But it's kind of like, I just want to make this go away as fast as possible. I got all the money in the world. Here, have some. My money will help you shut up, is essentially what it's saying. Like, shut up and take my money. And there you go. That's why a lot of people will, like, try to blackmail people who necessarily didn't do anything wrong to try to get money, because it's like they have so much of it that they just figure it's a nice way to, hush money, essentially.
Mr. Combs,
like, if you have tons of money, you can get away with so much more because you can just throw money at situations and they'll go away because everybody likes money.
Decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He's happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best. But you have to imagine, in a way, although this came out, these allegations came out, this was a win for Combs in a way, right? Sure, really bad publicity, terrible allegations, but when you settle, it doesn't stay in the news. You don't go to trial. These details aren't revealed at a trial or even in pretrial discovery. This isn't like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, where arguably one of the motivations for Johnny Depp to sue his ex-wife to take it to trial was to make sure all the evidence did come out, because he wanted to prove that he did not abuse her and he wanted to rehabilitate his image. This after Heard had alluded that she was a victim of domestic violence at his hands.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, we could talk about this trial one day all the way through, but I don't know what the hell Amber Heard was thinking when she decided to go. She must have really believed she was some kind of victim, but she was not. She like straight up was destroying that poor man. Now he was. Now sometimes, people can bring out the worst in others. That doesn't necessarily mean that snitches get riches. Yes, I like that one better. Snitches get riches. But yeah, I don't understand how Amber thought that she was gonna get away with this. I guess she really just was like, everybody's gonna believe me. I'm a pretty girl. But certain partners can bring out the worst in other people than they are in their regular life. I don't necessarily think that Johnny Depp's a bad guy in real life. I think that he just happened to be with a woman who just brought the worst out of him.
This with Combs is very different. Definitely want to keep it quiet. But then what happens? Days after settling, Combs is hit with another lawsuit filed in New York. A woman named Joy Dickerson Neal claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her when she was in college back in 1991.
Wow.
She alleged Combs filmed the rape, shared the video with others as a form of revenge porn. Dickerson Neal claimed this severely affected her mental health and resulted in her leaving college. And like with Ventura, this lawsuit was filed pursuant to New York's Adult Survivors Act. But
I don't think people realize just how effed up it is to how effed up revenge porn is, and how much it messes up the people that are involved in it. I know that a lot of a lot of guys don't really take it very seriously, a la Derek Ross, right? They think it's a big joke and stuff like that, but that's supposed to be a private thing. How many people? It's who would go up on a stage and just strip naked? Because it's essentially the same thing, right? You're showing off your body parts, things that aren't meant to be seen by people who aren't your. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. People who aren't meant to see those things. Essentially, if it's not a loved one, then why are you sharing that with other people? It's kind of bullshit in my opinion. Why is it quiet? Oh, I hit the mute button.
Court just one day before the window to sue closed. Diddy denied the allegations. In a statement from his spokesperson released to People, it said, quote, "This last-minute lawsuit is an example of how a well-intentioned law can be turned on its head. Ms. Dickerson's 32-year-old story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her, and she implicates companies that did not exist. This is purely a money grab and nothing more." As far as we see, that lawsuit is still pending. But there is something to think about. Could these allegations be true? Yes, absolutely. Could the allegations against Ventura be true? Yes, absolutely. However, One of the reasons that we see celebrities and high-profile people decide to fight these cases and not settle is because they are concerned about the floodgates argument, right? If you settle with one person, you're going to have to settle with all of them. Now, we haven't seen a settlement in this case, but remember, this lawsuit came out after the Ventura settlement. Doesn't take away from the legitimacy of the claims, but just something to think about. But then what happens next, right? A third lawsuit comes out in New York. This time, an unidentified woman claims that Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall raped her 30 years ago. Combs' spokesperson released another.
That's kind of a long time, though. I mean, I'm granted, like, I'm not saying it didn't happen, and by all accounts, it sounds like Diddy's into this kind of thing, so it makes it more believable. But maybe hearing all these other women came forward was enough to give her enough bravery to step forward. But, 30 years is, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it invalidates her feelings at all, but it's just a little bit longer to wait. And it's going to be almost impossible to prove that happened if it happened 30 years ago.
Another statement after this one saying these are fabricated claims, falsely alleging misconduct from over 30 years ago and filed at the last minute. This is nothing but a money grab because of Mr. Combs' fame and success.
Yeah, I think it's 7 years is the statute of limitations on that stuff. But I mean, I could definitely see someone being like, "Oh, I'm going to get my bag." It doesn't. I'm not saying that this woman, it didn't happen. It could have, and by all accounts, it might have, especially with the way Diddy is. But I don't know. 30 years seems like you kind of missed your opportunity there to stand up for yourself. I mean, now if you were just coming forward and be like, "Listen, like I don't want anything for this, but I just want to let you guys know I want to tell my story," that's one thing. But doing it and trying to get money, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to believe you at that point.
He is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. It goes on to state, quote, the New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited by scammers. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these bogus allegations. But then you fast forward to December 2023. Another lawsuit comes out. Another unidentified woman has accused Combs, former Bad Boy Entertainment president Harvey Pierre, and another person of sex trafficking and gang raping her when she was just 17 years old. She said that she was flown from Michigan to New York City, supplied with drugs and alcohol, and then assaulted at Combs' recording studio. The same day of this lawsuit, Combs issued a statement on Instagram saying, quote, enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening
Oh, Diddy's 100% done. Diddy's donezo. This is gonna kill his career for sure.
Allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick
Welcome, Sarah.
payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth.
It's hard to believe that all these people would just randomly come forward and target Diddy of all people, right? Like, if he didn't, if it just makes zero sense to me that somebody would be like, you know what, I think we're gonna go after Diddy now. He had to have done some of these things. It would make sense that he would do some of these things, right? I don't think that they just like threw darts at a board and were like, okay, this is the celebrity we're going after now, and it lands on Diddy, and you're like, okay, man, it was almost Leo, but now it's Diddy. And clearly he's got a history of this stuff, right? He's got the NDA that he filed with that woman, and all these other things that are just absolutely, maybe Diddy pissed off another big player and he's being targeted. It's possible. I don't hold the long ones like very seriously, like the 30 the 30-year ones. I wouldn't even entertain those. 30 years is just, I'm sorry, that's just too long of a time to try to bring up something. Now if you just want to tell your story, that's one thing, but first time catching a stream. Hi, everyone. I found you during the Savannah Marie, and I subbed. See, guys, I'm telling you. See, that's why I got to go back to making some of the traditional stuff, right? Because, the Savannah is probably one of my best performing videos. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Sarah. Welcome to the stream. I'm EG. It's a pleasure to meet you. These are my amazing followers. I don't know, not followers, subscribers, some moderators, some are my booze, and some are my friends. But everybody's amazing, and it's a beautiful community, very, very supportive. And this is kind of what we do. I stream. Well, I'm going to be streaming 2 times a week, starting at 4 o'clock, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we kind of like talk live about whatever's going on in the world. Today, we happen to be talking about the Baltimore Bridge collapse and these Diddy allegations, which are not shocking, to be honest with you. I've always felt like Hollywood was kind of this way.
By the way, little side note about these lawsuits. They may be able to be legally brought, right? But they can still be difficult to prove. When you're talking about the age of these claims, witnesses' memories fade. Evidence gets stale. It's not impossible to prove the case, but it can be difficult. And I say that because, remember, you can have a witness and a victim testify or survivor testify. That could be sufficient in order to prove the claim. Maybe you have a few corroborating witnesses. That could be it. This isn't a criminal trial, by the way. The standard of proof in a civil...
So a civil case is they're just suing him for money, essentially, right? That's all. Like, they're not trying to put this guy... Like, Diddy's probably not going to go to jail, but he's going to have to give up a lot of money. Ah, yes, the famous green dress. The Golden Globes dress. I remember that one. Yes, we're happy to have you, Sarah. We have a super amazing, supportive community. It's like, they're the best. They really are.
Case is much lower. Look at the E. Jean Carroll case against Donald Trump. And from an optics point of view, this arguably has hurt Sean Combs. I mean, he stepped down from his position as chairman of Revolt TV, the media company he had founded. He's now on the defensive. But that is not the end of the story. No. It is just the beginning. Because now producer Rodney Little Rod Jones has filed a massive, reportedly $30 million federal lawsuit against Combs and others, alleging sexual assault, harassment, and an illicit criminal enterprise.
Jeez, what the hell is Diddy doing with his time? Like, dude, is it that hard to stay out of trouble? I know that a lot of these celebrities who are rich feel super, super entitled, right? But you're like, Diddy must be walking around feeling like he's better than everybody around him. That's the only thing that I can think of. Like, that's the only way that I could ever imagine someone treating someone else this badly, is just walking around feeling like he owns everybody around him. Diddy's estimated worth is over $1 billion. I doubt he'll go to jail. Now, he's probably not going to go to jail, but he's definitely going to fork up some money. And he's probably just going to have to just disappear from the limelight, and nobody's going to really talk about him anymore. He's going to be like that of like Bill Cosby, where he once was a very well-known person, but now he's taboo to talk about. Geez, how many lawsuits does he have at this point? I think we've counted like 4 or 5 at this point, all from different people.
Lawsuit by Jones is 75 pages. It
75.
15 separate causes of action, and we're going to go through them. But this lawsuit is against Combs, his son Justin Combs, various associates, and entities like Chalice Recording Studios, Love Records, Motown Records, Combs Global Enterprises, and Universal Music Group. So the complaint starts off by explaining that Jones produced 9 songs for Combs on his Love album and actually lived with Sean Combs for a period of time, and how, quote, throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer.
Oh, I'm sure honestly, I don't feel like this is going to be an open shut case, right? They're going to have to prove that Diddy did all this stuff. And if they think they can go in a courtroom and just say that it happened and then they're going to get handed money, it's not going to be that easy. They're going to have to prove, they're going to have like corroborating witnesses. They're going to have like evidence to support what they're saying. They're not going to be able to just walk in a courtroom and say, hey, he did this to me, hand me some money. You know, the courts are very meticulous about that kind of stuff, and that's what makes our country so great, is that like it's the way to protect innocent people from being like targeted by people like Savannah, for instance.
Producer on the Love album. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. On several occasions, Mr. Combs took Mr. Jones's cell phone and began recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity.
Okay. Now, that, on the other hand, is big. if this guy really has footage and audio of Puff Daddy or Diddy or whoever the hell he is going by these days, if he has video and footage of that stuff, he's done. Like you can't. I mean, what's he gonna be like? That's not me on that tape. That's not me in that video. Well, it sounds like you. It looks like you. It's got to be you. Like, you know, this is by far the most damning piece of evidence. If assuming that this guy actually has all the stuff he says he does, and that's wild, dude. That's wild.
Now, Jones says that those videos show drugs like ecstasy and cocaine, the displaying of unregistered firearms, Combs spiking drinks for minors and sex workers.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Like the drugs, not a big deal, right? It's Hollywood. It's the Hollywood elite. They get high. That's just, you know, you've seen it in every kind of movie. It makes sense to me. Even the illicit firearms. How many times have you seen people in gang movies or like rap videos and stuff flashing illegal firearms all the time? But spiking minors' drinks at a party, that is pretty freaking bad. Cassie said in her lawsuit that he kept her drugged. Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, it wouldn't be hard for this guy to get drugs, right? He's got $1 billion, so he can afford it, and I'm sure he's very, very connected, so he can get as much of it as he wants. Cosby was the only one-man band. Did try to get everyone he could on film, so in case he was implicated. Epstein comes to mind. Yeah, sounds familiar. I mean, he's like the Black Epstein at this point, except he didn't own an island, which he probably could have if he wanted to.
Combs' son Christian drugging and sexually assaulting a woman, and even a famous actor sexually harassing and assaulting Jones. Now, Jones alleged numerous events in these papers. For example, Jones, who identifies as a heterosexual
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he knew Epstein.
Christian man, claims that Combs repeatedly and intentionally groped his private parts without his consent, that this happened in L.A., New York, Florida, the Virgin Islands, and that Combs also continually forced Jones to be in his presence while he was naked and showered. So with that...
I mean, that's weird, but that doesn't... I mean, it's weird. I don't see if you could sue someone for making you be around while they just got out of the shower. I mean, it's definitely odd. Like, you know, if we're going to look at this from a fair perspective, everybody. Damn, you got the kids involved. Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like Diddy has no shame, it seems like.
Jones is suing Combs for a claim of sexual assault and harassment.
Oh, for sure, Sarah. Like this dude straight up is he could buy anybody he wants. He could buy anything he wants. But the one thing he can't buy is power over people. So he seems like he uses his money and stuff to assert that.
Jones says that this resulted in severe emotional distress and anxiety. And as we go through some of these claims, keep in mind what he alleged that he suffered.
Can I sue my job for anxiety when I get the Sunday scaries? Is that something I can do? Like to catch a predator who brought his 5-year-old along, normal people don't involve their kids. Yeah. It's bad enough that you're already on To Catch a Predator, but to bring your child, yeah, that's like even by far worse than anything you can do.
As a result of Combs' action, this is the injury or harm element that you need for the purposes of damages. What happened to you? What did you suffer? Meaning, what could Jones recover? Let's keep that in mind. But Jones claims that Combs attempted to groom him into homosexual sex. And one of the ways that Jones says Combs tried to do that was by using producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, who Jones apparently looked up to. Combs allegedly showed Jones a video of Jordan engaging in a sex act with another man as a way to, quote, ease his anxiety concerning homosexuality.
That's not how that works. You can't. Hey, listen, man. You know, come here, brother. Come here. I know you feel like you might be a little bit gay about going and sucking that guy's dick, but let me just tell you something, right? I've sucked so many in my lifetime. Now, I know that you look up to me, all right? Man to man. Let's be man to man, all right? Look at me in the eyes when I'm talking to you, son, all right? It takes a real man to suck another man's wiener, all right? That's all I'm going to say about that. I can't take myself seriously. Not Diddy trying to break them in. Yeah, for sure. Like, oh, listen, man. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you, all right? You know, just real man and women stuff, that's all hubbub. You know, it takes a real man of God sticking another man's behind. Sorry, I can't help myself.
And included in this complaint are alleged screenshots of that purported video. By the way, Jones alleges that Combs has hidden cameras in every room of his various
Real man. Casey.
homes, and that he has secret recordings of celebrities and associates, this compromising footage of every person that has attended his parties, which, by the way, from a legal point of view, would be a violation of civil privacy laws and criminal privacy laws, perhaps even implicate revenge porn.
He'd take a real man and smoke a mustache cigar. It was, oh my God, you guys are too much.
Type statutes. Anyway, continuing on with this alleged grooming campaign, Combs even allegedly admitted that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with, quote, an unidentified Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, as well as, quote, an R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl.
I'm sure that we could figure out who that is. All right, so who is an unidentified Philly rapper who dated Nicki Minaj? I'm pretty sure if I just look up Philly rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, we'll be able to find it real quick. I think it's gonna be Meek. The only person that comes to mind is Meek Mill, right? Maybe they just didn't want to include him. Yep, Meek. Meek's the first one to come up. Meek Mills. So you're saying Meek was doing some gay shit? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Now, there are those who have speculated online
Like
that
it's
Philly
Meek.
rapper is Meek Mill, and the R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl could be Usher. On Twitter, X,
Yeah, I mean, come on. How many people could you do fit this bill? All right, as far as I know, most Philly people who rap haven't dated Nicki Minaj, right? And damn sure not a whole lot of R&B singers have performed at the Super Bowl. So, like, come on, let's use our brains here.
Meek Mill posted on his account, quote, one love to the gay people, but then talked about in graphic detail how he much prefers or loves a certain part of the female anatomy. He wrote, quote, every black blog site enhanced that post to make me seem gay. I change laws for our people. I donate millions. They are designed to destroy the image of black leaders. It can't work with me, though. You gotta really kill me, and I still will get bigger after death. This God, not me. LOL. Now, one of the people to jump into the mix online was actually social media influencer and former kickboxer Andrew Tate. As you know, we covered Tate's legal troubles in
Oh, God, I can only imagine what Tate has to say.
Romania before here on Sidebar, as he's
I'm going to tell you something, all right? If you suck the mushroom tip, you're gay. It's Andrew Tate.
facing charges of rape, sex trafficking, and sexual exploitation. But Tate...
It's not fair that guys like Dids don't get a gag reflex yet. Fair playing ladies like myself do.
posted the question on Twitter, quote, so P Diddy was having sex with Meek Mill and Usher? Meek Mill responded, was you sex trafficking women? TF wrong with you, Brody. Tate responded, I only asked a question because everyone is saying it happened. It's true or not. As for Usher, as far as we could see, he didn't respond to any of the assertions in this lawsuit.
Yeah, it's probably the best move. Just act like this shit ain't happening.
And you could argue, why should he, as he's not directly mentioned by name or implicated. But something that has created a bit of buzz online is an interview that Usher did years back on the Howard Stern show, where he talked...
Yeah, welcome to the stream, Sarah, where we go pretty X-rated sometimes in here.
Talked about living with Sean Combs as a teenager as part of P. Diddy's, it's called Puffy's Flavor Camp. He said, quote, I got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle, and I saw it. It was pretty wild. It was crazy. They called me Baby Boo. He went on to say he wasn't disciplinary. He was letting me be a young man. And, quote, I will always look at him like a brother. But when he was asked if he would send his children to the camp, he responded, quote, hell no. Quick note, by the way, another high-profile celebrity jumped into the mix as well with all of this Diddy controversy going on, and that's comedian Cat Williams. You might have heard about this, because in an interview with Vlad TV recently, he said he had attended one of Diddy's parties where he found out it was just men there, and he claimed that Diddy had tried to stop him from leaving, making strange, suggestive comments, even threatening and harassing him at one point.
Listen, man, I don't know what you got to do. Hey, Gianna, welcome back. I remember you from before. Baby boo, what hit in the grooming? Yeah. Listen, man, I know you want to leave, right? This is a sausage party, but listen, all right? Have you ever tried sausage? It's delicious. All right, you try it on pizza, delicious, right? You try it on a breakfast sandwich, sausage, delicious, right? Now, what if you were to take a sausage from a man, put that in your mouth? I'm assuming you may think that is delicious as well. It's like, let's imagine like this conversation goes at Diddy's party when Cat Williams is like, "Oh hell no, this is some of that gay shit. This is that high elite Hollywood homosexuality. I'm leaving. No. Cat, come here. What if I paid you? Would you stick around? I mean, Big D over there wants he really looking forward to hanging out with you. He's a big fan of your stand-up comedy." Thank you. I try, guys.
Williams had gone on to say, quote, "I am not gay, and I am not going to sleep with you." Okay, but moving forward in the lawsuit, Jones claims that on Thanksgiving Day 2022...
Yeah, you can't just listen. All right, guys. I know that like a lot of gay men think that like they can convince heterosexual men to sleep with you. But guess what? If you get a heterosexual man to sleep with you, he's not heterosexual. It's simple as that, right? Most heterosexual men are, at least the ones that are like comfortable with their sexuality, have no you might as well make them eat a food they absolutely hate. They know they're not going to like it, right? They don't need to try it to know they're not going to like it. Like, it's me with like raw onions. I don't like raw onions. I don't need to eat a raw onion to know I don't like raw onions, all right? I can smell it. I like onion rings though. I like cooked onions, but like raw onions, no siree, Bob. Anchovies, right? I don't need to eat anchovies on a pizza to know that I don't like anchovies, right? Sometimes you just know these things. You don't need to go and find out. It's only an exit only if you treat it that way, Keisty. $20 is $20 after all. Yeah. Now, what if Cat, what if I paid you, Cat Williams? Because I don't want to get confused with my cat. Listen, Cat Williams, what if Big Bubba over there we replaced Big Bubba with Skinny Steve? He's not as big. He ain't gonna hurt you. Raw onion on a burger slaps though. I say again. I don't know. It's just not for me. For some reason, I don't like the texture of it. I don't like the way it tastes. It's just a little bitter for my taste, if you will. But I'm glad. I know a lot of people like onions, right? A lot of people love them. Like, I like onion flavored things. Like, I like onion rings. I like French onion soup. So it's not like I hate onions altogether. I just don't like raw onions, though. That's all.
Combs offered Jones cocaine, and then rapper Young Miami, her female cousin or assistant, identified as Jane Doe 1, tried to sexually assault Jones, including in front of Combs. And Jones, in fact, again, attached screenshots from a video of Combs, Jones, Young Miami, and Jane Doe 1 on that day. Now, this makes up the fourth listed cause of action in the lawsuit. He is suing Jane Doe 1 for sexual assault. Jones says that her actions were willful, and malicious, and frightened him.
I've heard that about onions.
Her for both negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress. By the way, he also ends up suing Combs for negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress for a lot of this behavior that he says is extreme and outrageous. But speaking of which, Jones is also suing Combs too for this same alleged assault by Jane Doe 1 under a premises liability theory. Basically, Jones is arguing that Combs is responsible because this alleged assault happened on Combs' property. He saw this happen, that he had a duty as the owner of the property to protect Jones from harm. That's actually a common theme we see in personal injury cases. If something happens to your guests on your property, your business, your home, you could be legally responsible. Then there is the Cuba Gooding Jr. incident. Oh, yeah.
Show me the Diddy! Remember from Jerry Maguire? Show me the money! That's what I think of Cuba Gooding Jr. from, mostly.
Jones claims he believes...
Did you guys know that Omar Gooding is actually Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother? And he was on Wild and Crazy Kids back in the day on Nickelodeon. That's a millennial thing.
Combs was grooming Jones to pass him off to his friends. And he claims that one day on Combs' yacht, Combs suggested that the actor, quote, get to know Jones, left them alone, and then Cuba Gooding Jr. allegedly touched, groped, and fondled Mr. Jones.
Seems like there's like a lot more gay men out there than they lead on. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with being gay. All right, I just want to be first off, like, absolutely nothing wrong with being gay. I love the picture that they're showing here. It's, I guess that's him and him, like, hanging out or something. So he's got video of this stuff, but like it's I don't know. Like, is it a thing when you go to Hollywood that you have to swing like to either side? You can't just be one or the other. You can't just be like, you're not allowed to be heterosexual, right? If I'll tell you what, if you don't suck that other man off, then you a homophobe. How about that? How about we're gonna tell everybody that you are a Republican if you don't suck off that other man, you are a Republican. And whenever we're gonna tell everybody, we're gonna make sure they all know it. That's what I feel like this goes down like.
Jones had to allegedly push him away. Again, there are screenshots of not only Combs and Gooding Jr. together allegedly on that yacht, but also Gooding Jr. and Jones, where you can see his arm around the producer. And
sorry, Sarah, I'm gonna next time I'll rehearse. I'll be more prepared for the roles. You know, I gotta really get into these characters, right? I don't care what happens in someone else's bedroom so long as it's of age, consensual, and human. Yeah, and not in front of me, personally. You know, I don't care what people do behind closed doors. I just, you know, I don't like need to see. I mean, I feel that way with heterosexual or straight or gay people. Straight or gay people is what I meant. I burped. That's why I went ugh, not because I was thinking of gay people, but you know what I mean. I like public displays of affection make me uncomfortable.
And sitting right next to him, Jones appears to be smiling. One of the causes of action is against Combs, again for premises liability, because Jones claims Gooding Jr. sexually assaulted and harassed him on Combs' yacht. In the lawsuit, Jones brings up another event. This is a shooting that happened at Chalice Recording Studios in L.A., where after a heated fight between Combs, his son Justin, and Justin's friend identified as G, gunshots rang out. G was lying on the ground with blood coming out of his hip leg area. Jones claims that Combs allegedly told his team to tell police that he had nothing to do.
I don't like PDA either, or any type of twist of partnership. Yeah, you don't like any kind of A at all, right, Keisty? It took Denmark a long time to do that then, huh? Yeah.
With this, and then
just recently made bestiality illegal. Wow, good for them. About time.
Jones, in the lawsuit, provided screenshots of the bloodstained bathroom where he claims
one day, Keisty. Maybe he'll come around one day. One day.
G was shot by either Combs or his son, and he claims he still has the clothing that you could test for DNA. Now, one of the claims,
which is funny because of how dirty-minded you are. It's so strange that you're not into like any kind of intimacy whatsoever. Yet you talk like it's like you cuss like a trucker. Yeah, Denmark had to do that out of necessity. What is people just going ham on the domestic animals? That's crazy.
Or causes of action in this.
Also, Sarah, make sure you stick around to the end of the stream. I sing everybody. Zoophilia is still legal in Cali. Wow. Yeah, no, that's creepy. That's creepy. I can make a sailor blush. I can make a rapper touch. See, Diddy should have just hired you, Keefsty. I only said that because it rhymed. That would make fun of AZF video chat, I bet.
This lawsuit is against Combs and his son Justin under California's bystander negligent infliction of emotional distress. This is the idea here is that this shooting of G traumatized Jones and that it has caused him to suffer PTSD and depression. And then there is another cause of action against the various entities like Universal Music Group and Motown Records for this shooting, again under a premises liability theory that they failed in their duty to provide adequate security at Chalice Studios. This shooting could have been prevented. Talking complicated lawsuits.
Well, I mean, can you be surprised that it's legal in Washington, D.C.? I mean, they be banging donkeys and elephants in there left and right.
Let me just take a minute to thank a team that really knows about the law. Attorney.
We're going to skip ahead here. We don't got time to be publicizing anybody else's sponsors.
It's for a free consultation or dial 855-TOM-WINS. But moving on, Jones also talks about an event from this past summer, July 2nd, 2023, out in California. He claims that Combs had a party with underage girls and sex workers at his home, and his son and an unidentified R&B artist were there. Now, again, embedded in this lawsuit, in this complaint, are screenshots of a video taken of this party where it allegedly shows Combs either kissing or dancing almost face-to-face with a purported underage girl. And the thing about the screenshots from these videos, too, let me just talk about it. Jones usually claims in the suit that the writer is in possession of the video and this could be provided to court. We don't know exactly at this point what the videos do or do not show or the context or what they can prove, but the screenshots in and of themselves are important to establish what we call in the law a prima facie case, meaning at first sight or first impression, the evidence is sufficient to support the claims.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally pictures pretty much showcasing everything that's going on around them. I mean, these are some nice pictures too. I wouldn't be shocked if this was like DSLR footage, like almost like YouTube style footage. You know, this is wild. You guys are going off hardcore about I don't know what in the comments, but
now moving forward, Jones argues that
I'm assuming it's bestiality though.
He was working for Sean Combs under an implied work for hire agreement. Work for hire is when you're paid to create something for somebody else. You don't own the rights to what you create. In this case, Combs would own the rights to the songs that were produced by Jones. But Jones says he wasn't paid for the songs he produced, even though he says Combs and the defendants benefited from his work product. He says he was only offered $29,000 for all of his work over the course of 13 months. And talking about his job duties during this time that Jones was working with Combs, he states that he was, quote, forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Combs. On or about February 2nd, 2023, Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs drugged him. Mr. Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, confused. He was in bed with two sex workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls...
Damn! Imagine waking up and you got two hookers and P Diddy next to you.
Aimlessly wandering around the house.
Diddy sent his plane to the islands. There was probably evidence on the plane. Yeah, I would not be shocked if P Diddy was on Jeffrey Epstein's list.
With no clothes on. Quote, as part of Mr. Jones' sex worker recruitment tools, Mr. Combs provided Mr. Jones with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to Booby Trap on the River. That's a strip club. As a signal
Booby
to
Trap
any
on the
sex
river.
worker, he approached that Mr. Combs was in town.
What should we name this here strip club? Let's call well, the boobies, right? And the trap queens, and we on the river. So let's call it, what about Booby Trap on the River? I like it.
Town, and had sent Mr. Jones to recruit them. And you might be saying, well, what happens if Jones refused to do any of this? Well, Jones claims that Combs would use his power and influence to threaten and intimidate Jones. Quote, Mr. Combs would often switch up his approach. He would go from promising Mr. Jones...
I like it too. If I ever opened up a strip club, I'd call it Trap Boobies by the creek.
The world...
Well, or Trap Boobies in the back alley.
...to threatening Mr. Jones with physical...
Booby traps.
...harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face and inform Mr. Jones that he is willing to kill his mother.
Yeah, he probably... that's a good point, Dawn. I wonder if Diddy went to the island and he was like, oh, man, this guy's got to figure it out. I need to do this, too. Some island in the Caribbean, not sure where. Him and Jeffrey were friends for sure. Yeah, it seems like for sure, like, he went and saw how Jeffrey Epstein was running things. He goes, this man knows what the F he doing.
Janice Combs, if he must, in order to get what he wants, so he wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. Claims that he was also told Combs' head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people disappear. And keeping up with that theme of instilling fear, Jones said that Combs would...
You guys ever seen 21 Jump Street? You know how in that movie Diddy's like very threatening and stuff? I feel like that's probably how Diddy is in real life. Just super crazy.
Show off his guns that he would brag about shooting people, that he confessed that he was responsible for that infamous 1999 shooting outside of a New York City nightclub. According to Jones, Combs had told him that J-Lo, who Combs had been dating at the time, she was the one who carried the gun into the club for him and passed the gun to him when he got into that altercation outside the club.
Well, I mean, J-Lo was from the streets, so I wouldn't be shocked. Where Diddy and Clinton tight, I remember Diddy had a pic at the White House. I wouldn't be shocked. That's probably why he's Democrat. He's like, yo, these Democrats, man, they let you mess with the young kids. They let you mess with the young girls. That's why I like them. That's why I vote Democrat. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I can't even say that with a straight face. Although Joe Biden does like to sniff little girls' hair. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Shots were fired and 3 people were injured. Jones claims that Combs admitted he forced his artist at the time, Shine, to be the fall guy, to take the blame for the shooting. He was sentenced for 10 years in prison, by the way. Now, Jones claims...
I watched a thing on J-Lo. She wasn't from any block. Her mom won a $2 million lottery. So, Jenny from the block, my ass. All right, got to take off. See you guys on Thursday. All right, Income. Thank you, brother. Take care, man.
That with all of this, he was terrified. He was terrified, and we're going to get into why that is important in just a bit. But Jones makes a comparison in this lawsuit to, of all people, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah,
there you guys go. You guys nailed it. You guys are way ahead on this one. Joe needs to be in a nursing home eating applesauce. Yeah, and ice cream. Listen, I guarantee you if, like the Secret Service for Joe Biden has to be like, keep an eye out for any ice cream. If you see anybody trying to lure the president away with an ice cream cone, get on them fast. Because I feel like Joe Biden would just look at an ice cream cone and be like, oh, that looks delicious. Let me... starts walking after him. He starts walking towards the ice cream cone. You got an ice cream cone on like a fisher rod and you're holding it in front of him. Like, come on, Mr. Biden. Come on, President Biden. Come on, Mr. President.
He claims that defendant Christina Coram, Combs' chief of staff, is like Ghislaine Maxwell, the former associate or madam of Epstein, who was convicted of her own sex trafficking-related charges, serving a 20-year prison sentence. For instance, when Jones went to Coram to report Combs, she allegedly said, quote, you know, Sean will be Sean. And Jones said that Coram made sure her assistants kept Combs high. She made sure that all the employees would readily carry around drugs for Combs whenever he wanted them. And that included forcing Jones to carry a drug pouch.
Listen, I got a meeting this morning. I'm going to need some Adderall, but then I'm going to have to unwind from the meeting after that. So I'm going to need some heroin. You got bring both of those in the drug pouch, please.
She also made sure to procure sex workers for Combs. Basically says that she was instrumental in the...
We used to put their pills in pudding at the nursing homes. Ice cream would work also. Yeah, I'm sure I made... Yeah, seems like a right move.
This RICO, or criminal enterprise of illicit drugs, guns, sex acts, including facilitating freak-offs, which we had heard of in the Cassie Ventura lawsuit. These are sexual episodes directed by Combs. But now let's...
Yo, we're going to do a freak-off tonight. Everybody ready? All right. Now, I need you and him versus her and her. Him and him? Why can't I just be with one of the women? Because it's a freak-off, bro. Ain't be no freaky with no woman. You got to be with a man to be freaky. Let me introduce your partner. Ice Cube, this is Cat Williams. And this is J-Lo and Ghislaine Maxwell. Those are the teams. Good luck. I'll be over here jerking it.
Let's talk about, real quickly, some of the more remaining calls.
Maybe he snorts whatever Hunter left on the carpets in the White House or pick me up. Yeah, probably. I'm sure he's done some crack in his life. Welcome to the Freaker's Ball, Dr. Hook song. Yeah, I you really love that Dr. Hook. Well, I promise you, I'm still gonna look into who Dr. Hook is. I promise. I've honestly never really listened to him, but yeah, I'm sure P Diddy's definitely done a little crack cocaine in his lifetime.
Causes of action or claims in this lawsuit. I mentioned there were 15.
You know, I got you.
Over a bunch of them. But Jones alleges that Combs, his son, various associates, and companies like Motown, Combs Global, Love Records, UMG, they all engaged in illegal racketeering enterprise in violation of the federal RICO statute. And that statute provides someone who is injured a right to sue. Jones argues these companies are liable for the actions of Combs, his son, Coram, because they were all employees or agents of these entities acting on their behalf. that these entities should have been monitoring or warning or supervising what they were allegedly doing. The big theme here is that they were all part of a criminal enterprise, namely making money by forcing and threatening people like Jones to transport drugs and guns, soliciting minors and sex workers, making music without properly paying them. The common purpose of this enterprise is, quote, to enrich themselves financially and sexually at the expense of producers and musicians like Jones. And they claim that Jones was promised cash payments.
Did he just say Jones was promised? Was there an R in there? Did I catch an R in that one, promised?
Grammy Awards, access to future projects, access to famous celebrities, and that the defendants profited from this enterprise, and that Plaintiff Jones suffered because the enterprise diminished his finances. And Jones argues that this criminal enterprise engaged in mail and wire fraud to carry out this scheme.
Thank you. I think I heard a hard R too. And promised. He promised him. Don't tell me he didn't promised.
Now, there is another cause of action under the Trafficking and Victims Protection Act, or TVPA. This is a major.
Now, I know that promise has an R in it, but promised, I don't think the H. It's just like Jim Croce's version of ball at the Kerry Muir.
Law that was instituted to fight against domestic and international human slavery. It alleged that Combs and his associates participated in and furthered a sex trafficking venture by forcing and threatening people like Jones and minors to engage in commercial sex acts. The defendants were hiding money, they weren't paying taxes, this was all a dangerous criminal enterprise. And he also alleges that UMG and Motown and these entities, that they...
How do you get so rich and also become such a monster at the same time? Like that's why I feel like these crazy mofos are the ones who end up becoming rich, because they just happen to be crazy enough to be able to do the things it takes to become this wealthy.
They aided and abetted and induced this sex trafficking venture. They violated the law. They benefited from it financially. They obstructed enforcement of the TVPA, and that they provided Combs with the cash, the lines of credit, the opportunity to do all this. They concealed his alleged misconduct and his crimes. In fact, Jones says that these defendants should have taken a cue when Jeffrey Epstein was prosecuted. They should...
Ain't gonna happen to me, man. I'm black. Ain't gonna fuck with me. I'm a black man. Jeffrey Epstein, white. He had it coming. He deserved it.
have known better.
But I will say, great businessman. Great businessman. Beautiful island, by the way. Beautiful island.
So this is a major lawsuit, right? And what Jones is asking for in this lawsuit, after laying all this out, he is looking for a few things. Among other things, he's seeking a court to make a legal determination that the defendants violated New York law. He is looking for damages to compensate him for lost wages, incomes, but also for mental anguish, humiliation, pain and suffering, distress. He's looking for punitive damages, which is a way to punish the defendants, and we've seen those numbers sometimes.
I think that this guy is probably going to get a payment from Diddy just so those videos never surface.
Far exceed compensatory damages. Look at the Alex Jones case. But he's also seeking medical expenses. He's seeking injunctive relief. That's when you have an order for the court to actually stop somebody from doing something. And I said, look, this is a major lawsuit, but obviously the defendants will have an opportunity to respond. This is usually in an answer to a complaint. It's a formal written response where you either admit or deny each statement in the complaint. And look, what I just laid out are allegations, disturbing allegations, but allegations nonetheless. Jones still has to prove this happened. Defendants could assert that this is all made up, or that there is context to all of this.
It's definitely not an open and shut case. I think the guy who has the best chance at nailing Diddy is the guy with all the footage and stuff. That seems like the most promising lead. I think a lot of the women are gonna have an uphill battle, considering that they only have like their word against his and that does not really hold up in court a lot.
This is speculation that the videos, the photos, the screenshots, they really don't show anything. And I also imagine they could argue at trial, we're supposed to believe all these crimes were taking place and Jones didn't report any of it? Could he just be a disgruntled employee? Well, that is why I mentioned before the fear component that Jones brings up. It is so important. The idea that he was threatened, he was afraid to come forward.
I think Kim Porter had a lot of dirt on him too. I wonder where she kept it. Yeah, I know. If was she the one he made sign an NDA? Because if the NDA is involved, then it could be possible that she had to like turn all that crap over or something. Or never allowed to see the light of day.
That's why you hear a lot about this in the lawsuit. And by the way, you also have multiple defendants who may take different actions during the course of this litigation. Possibility
Yeah, for sure, Don.
of a settlement. You don't want more coming out, especially if Jones claims he actually has videos available proving this alleged misconduct, or through the discovery process, he could unearth these allegedly secret recordings from Combs's homes that he allegedly has. Now, Combs' attorney, Sean Hawley, released a statement calling Jones a liar and that he, quote, is shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. His reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. Goes on to state, quote, we have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate actions against those who make them. Now, as this civil case wraps itself up, something just to think about. As you can tell, there are criminal aspects to these allegations, but we know that the standard of proof is...
Like, I enjoyed learning how to pick locks, but there's a reason I lack the physical ability to become a police officer. A lot of women actually are police officers, and I give them credit because, yeah, a lot of women would most likely be powered over by like a large majority of men in just bigger bone structure, bigger body mass, a lot of reasons why. But yeah, female officers are very brave in my opinion.
It's higher in criminal cases. It's proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Lockpicking is cool, especially if you ever played Resident Evil. It's a good thing to have.
So even if Jones could prove this in civil court, all you need to show is preponderance of the evidence that more likely than not these things occurred. It doesn't mean that prosecutors would immediately take up these cases against Combs and these defendants. And also there are other considerations like statute of limitations. Could you even prosecute these crimes? Are they too old? Okay, that was a lot to get.
I'd be shady as shit as a cop, kind of cop. If I had the power and could break into places seemingly legally too, yeah. I feel like cops can't get away with half the stuff they used to be able to get away with nowadays. Well, that was a lot to unpack, guys. Yeah, needless to say, it seems like Diddy is in a world of trouble, and it seems like he deserves every little bit of it as well. What a piece of crap. Seems like a pretty piece of crap human, but of course, we have to reserve judgment, right? We cannot make someone guilty before they've had a fair trial. That is just the way this country works, and I stand by that. It's the beauty thing of America. If I was being accused of things, I'd like to be heard out first before I, before people pass judgment. That is, yeah, allegedly. That's why we say allegedly in these crimes. So, got that to look forward to. What's going to happen with Diddy? They downgrading the requirement to include women in the police force, or none of them will make the cut. That's why they prompt to shoot and tase more than men cops. Yeah. That'd be an interesting topic to dive into one day, I'm sure. But all right, guys, it's karaoke time.